All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Madcore Hunter podcast. Look who it is. Got Danny back with us. What's going on, man?
Man, just ain't getting time to do anything. I've just been working for quite a while straight now, and gonna be that way for a little bit. But it's that time of year. I volunteer to work extra when it's not hunting season, and tell them not to ask about the time August 15th rolls around.
Right, right. What's that hat you have on?
Yeah, you
Is it
like it?
like,
You like it?
yeah,
Yeah, it
what's
might
going
have
on there?
little stars and stripes on it.
It's centered too. You're not a centered guy. Usually you like it
Yeah.
on one of the left or right panels.
Well, if you notice, it
Okay,
doesn't
I
have
can see
the.
the
It was something I
stripes.
messed with a little bit. I've got them in Loudon also,
Is that
a
going to be
few
the
of them.
4th of July version?
There you go.
Exclusive 4th of July. Look for it
Yeah,
on the Madcore Hunter website.
they're all right. I had to get the guys from Oklahoma we had on liked your hat that you got
Yeah.
there. So I told them I'd get a couple made, and I got a few of those, but the only difference is they're like these. They don't have the seam in the middle.
That's how my bottomland one is, and I really like it because you still have the same look. It just the seam
It's a
stops.
it's the same Richardson hat. It just I forget what they call it because like I'm pretty
It's
sure
like
that's called a 5 panel that you got on.
it's a 112, but it's just a
Yeah, these are most of those like I like the fit of the 112. This is a 112, but it's just there's a different number to the panel
I was
that
hoping to
open up
have
in the
the
front.
upland hats by this episode. I'm picking them up tomorrow. Anybody wants orange, we'll have more orange than the upland version. I think it looks pretty good from what I got a picture of.
Nice. What you've been up to?
Dude, this has just been a very busy season, and can't complain because most of it I've brought on myself. Not all of it, or probably 50%, but like we were getting on there, man. I had a longer workout tonight, and it's a weird feeling because it's coming down to the wire, and I've gotten used to pushing my body like really hard with these workouts. It's becoming routine, but also like there's a part of me it's like, man, like I'll have so much time after all this, which I probably won't, but it's neat. We'll see. We're less than 2 weeks out, so be praying for me. It's gonna be a long way to go.
Yeah, that's that's getting close. Is that your intentions? Is cut it back a little bit after?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's why I wanted to do an earlier one. For one, turkey season is right after that. I'm missing the opening weekend of Kentucky, but when like the following Wednesday it opens in Indiana, and then Kentucky stays open just as long as Indiana. So I'll have like basically a whole season to get it done. And if I don't, I don't. I think I should be good. I missed out on a lot last year and still got two. So I don't know. I like hunting. I don't kill them all, but and I don't know. We'll see. I'll gauge where I'm at. Like it's hard to have a life and train for a 4 Ironman. Like without my wife and everything, pushing it to the limit right now. Like I may do a half. I'm definitely going to keep training and do some smaller races because they're just fun. But the training to do this caliber of race has just been very eye opening. And it's a legit part time job, especially it's expensive too, man. Your nutrition costs you money, you know?
It definitely seems like it's a major dedication for the amount of time that you're having to put in for the training.
Yeah.
What's your average time in a day right now?
Good question. Cause like today was a 2 mile swim and that took me like an hour and 20. You got your drive to and from. But then like Saturday, I had a 6 hour bike. Actually, it took me 6 hours and 20 minutes. And then I ran for like an hour after. So like around 7 hours. And then, Wednesday I have a 3.5 hour run. So I'd say if you average it out like 2 hours at least every night, if not more, that's not counting your drive time to and from like the pool and just, getting your nutrition ready. Cause if you know, like biking, I had to legit carry a gallon of water on the bike with me, have my hydration mixed up, calculate how many carbohydrates and sodium I needed, and that's a whole nother thing. But after the race, Lord willing, we have a good race and a good finish. I'm pretty nervous about it and such. This has been such a commitment, you know, to come down the wire. And you know, I don't want to get sick or, you know, anything happen or this, that, because there's just a lot of time and money and, you know, invested in just something I want to accomplish. You know, it's not like you can just push it off to the next weekend. So just a lot of prayer, but it's been really good for me spiritually. Man, like there's not a lot to do on these long bikes and swims. And I've tried to limit listening to music because you're not allowed to during the race.
Really?
So, yeah, you don't wanna get used to getting all hopped up on music because during the race, it's just you and your thoughts. I mean, obviously, there's other
Why?
people, and
Do you know the reasoning behind why they don't allow music?
it's just dangerous not to have all your senses, especially on the bike. You know, there's traffic and such with it. I think they have the roads closed down and this and that, but I think they just want you to be alert of, like, other people around. Excuse me. I mean, I don't know, it's the same thing at work. We don't let guys do it at work with heavy equipment and so on and so forth.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah, I
But
hadn't ran into that too much where
really?
they were
Okay.
limited. Yeah, not even at work. I haven't come across that. I mean,
Yeah.
I ain't saying that's not a bad thing, but I was surprised to hear that in your industry that that's a topic.
Yeah. But no, man. And my plan is because the race is on Saturday, and you know we usually drop these podcasts on Tuesdays. So my plan is to somehow get a podcast in like right after the race. That way I'll be fresh and to talk about it and just kind of reflect. Hopefully somebody you know enjoys it and gets something out of it. But that's my plan. Then you know turkey hunt, and kind of relax, and I guess something else we put in for Colorado. Not gonna tell you guys where, which I think the deadline is what is it, tomorrow? I think it's tonight, 12 o'clock.
For Colorado?
Yeah. I think it's tomorrow. Fingers crossed there. I did a ton of research and I really want to see if it plays out. I used AI and just I really researched a lot because I wanted a decent unit because we had 5 points. Actually, I had six and dad had five. And Colorado, you know, they switched from OTC. So I didn't want to just dump our points into a unit that's been OTC for however many years and it's only had a break for what, like 1 or 2 years now. So I definitely want to get the most out of our points. And if we don't draw, we always have Utah. And like I was telling you, there's so much value in we know that area so well. We've been out there 4 or 5 times, killed 2 or 3 times. You know, it's worked. I know I complained a little bit this last year, but there was some fires, you know, that pushed some people up in there. But you can't complain too much. Killed a bull.
Yeah.
So that's the plan right now. That's kind of jumping the gun a little bit, you know, with how we talk about the fall plans, but just something, I guess, if hopefully by the time this drops, it's too late. But if anybody did put in for the Colorado draw, good luck to you guys.
Yeah, you'd hit me up a little bit about what I thought and stuff, and I know you talked to Zach that lives down there and everything, so I'm glad you figured out an area that you might get a chance at drawing and stuff. Hopefully, you guys get to go to Colorado. That's
Be neat.
it's
Yeah.
it's so weird that I mean, with Zach down there and stuff, I just haven't been able to make that happen. I bought points, for a year or 2 and then just decided that it was a little tough trying to look at hunting 2 states for elk. Just time frame and what else, you know, all the other tags and stuff I got in Wyoming. But I had looked here a couple weeks back, was thinking that I need to get into some draws, and actually a couple of them hadn't even opened up. But here in April now, I should be able to get in. I've gotta get in. I put in for Kentucky elk.
I
You
was gonna
should be able.
ask you because I bought
It's
my
open.
turkey license and I put in for every time you buy a turkey license, it's easy just to put in for all three. I just do all three. What is it? Bull only, cow only, and then either sex archery, I think.
Yeah, I only do the bull, but I put in for the gun tag and put in for the archery tag just because it was like I can kill cow out here, you know.
Well,
That's
it's
kind of
close
the
for
no.
me. I mean, if I
Yeah,
drew a
for
cow, I just
sure.
drive 4 hours, go get some meat, man. It would be just neat to shoot an elk in that terrain, you
Yeah.
know?
I'd absolutely love to hunt there, you know? Yeah, and I think I wrote some stuff down on my board because I gotta put in for, like, Wyoming moose, sheep, and goat, I gotta be in on the by the end of this month. I guess I can't put in for sheep. I'm banned now since I got one.
Are you buying points or are you
I
are you
always
putting
put
in?
in. I mean, there's always in Wyoming as a resident, I think there's always a chance, but it's a small chance because there's not. It's I think it's 25% still, unless that changed, but there's like 25% of the resident tags are a random draw. But the thing is you got to have enough tags in the area for the animal to have, more than one tag that falls in that random draw. So there's always chance, and I put in for preference points. There ain't anything I'm drawing on preference points because I mean I already have shot a moose in Wyoming, but I am still active in that point draw. It
Yeah.
because I shot it before they went to the once in a lifetime, and then but the sheep was once in a lifetime, so I can't get back in that draw. And still waiting on the mountain goat. That's a tag that there's no preference points on mountain goat, so it is completely random, and there's not a ton of tags.
You're due, though. You're due to draw something good.
I'd really like to get that tag. That tag's not easy to get, but
Do
that'd
you
put me real close to shot everything that I could hunt basically in Wyoming. So,
rifle or archery? What'd you do?
it's getting into the country. I think goat is from what, I've read and listened to and stuff, mountain goat is doable with a bow. They're a stockable
Yeah.
animal, but they live in country that's very, very hard to get to.
Mhm.
So they can definitely get in a, cliff system, and then even like sheep was like that. I mean, when I went into the sheep hunt, I thought that I carried a bow, but of course, like anytime I do that, I carry a bow and a gun, and I never got a stock opportunity on a ram. Now I got into ewes that I absolutely felt like I could have got into range with a bow, but my ram particular that I shot, I don't think he could have done it. I mean, when he knew that we were there when I shot with a gun, and I mean, we were 200 yards above him. I don't
Mhm.
know how he knew we were there because we hadn't made much noise. That one was surprising. We had the wind right and everything, but man, when I peeked over to shoot, he was looking straight up.
Gosh, dude.
I mean, their senses, they're, grizzly bears and wolves all in those areas and stuff. So
Yeah.
that one was surprising on the sheep because I didn't think he would know we were there. And when I peeked over, he definitely had picked up on it and was getting out of dodge. But I don't know. I've read that about goat. Wyoming, I mean, most likely it would be hunting with a gun, but if I could get myself in good enough shape and everything, I would maybe attempt for a week
Yeah.
or so with the bow. But I don't know
Yeah.
much about where they hunt them. It's all in the northwestern corner of the state. Lots and lots of grizzly bear. Most of the times, people I know about, like up in the Cody area of Wyoming, going in there for sheep or goat, like they see more grizzlies than they see what they're
What's the
chasing.
elevation up there?
I don't know where I sheep hunted. The highest stuff right there around me was 11, up on top. That's actually the highest I've been in Wyoming, was a little over 11. It was like 11.1.
Is
And
Colorado higher than Wyoming generally?
absolutely, I mentioned that talking to you earlier, is they got the, 14,000-foot peaks. And
Yeah.
I don't know what the highest point in Wyoming is. I mean, obviously, like the Tetons are some of the highest. I'd have to look that up to see for sure. But even when I was
The
at 11,
I know Utah gets pretty high.
yeah, Colorado is one of the. I've heard this trivia actually on Meat Eater before. And I can't remember if Colorado, I would have thought Colorado had the highest peaks, but I don't think they actually were the number one state, but they're one of the top.
Yeah, just looking, I just peeked it on X. Yeah, like I was just researching Colorado, like just saw so much elevation. I'm like, well, kind of used to that, but you're kind of doing research and heck, I mean, I used AI a little bit and you type in mules, but it's like you can do this, you have mules, you can beat the elevation. I'm like, well, you can also get in you can get in a bind too with mules at high elevation. I picked an area that, well, wasn't really because of the elevation. It's just it's not as high actually, but it's still high, just not as cliffy, I guess. You got to be
There's
careful getting cliffed out.
there's not much snow, man. I flew and like coming into Denver, I was paying a lot of attention
Yeah.
because I was coming from Wyoming, so we had flew south out of Casper, Wyoming, and crossing, I don't know, crossing central Colorado, and definitely you could tell there was a lot of high peaks in that country because, everything was above tree line. But it was like snow was barely below tree line. Any
Gosh.
snow that there was, man. It was just it's so dry up here. Sakawea here in the Wilson, North Dakota area is so low. It's the lowest I've been up here in this area since I think 15, 14. When I was up here. I started fishing some in 15, and this lake is way lower than I've seen it before. In
Hmm.
Wyoming, like I turned my sprinklers on in Wyoming already.
Wow.
Yeah, like in March because it was that dry and the grass was already starting to turn green.
It's crazy because here we're already starting to mow. Like, like we've been getting a ton of rain. It's been warmer, which is good for my training and such. But yeah, we've already done like 2 or 3 mows.
Yeah, it's been kind of all over the place. I mean, we're still getting some snows, but we've had a little bit of snow in the last couple weeks, but it hasn't been a ton. I know south in southern North Dakota here, they got 8, 10 inches, I think, in like Bismarck area and stuff along the interstate there.
Yeah.
But we didn't even get that here in Williston.
Let's talk about something. Do you balance I guess we have the ambition to hunt, but the finances part of these tags, these hunts, the time away from family. How do you balance that with everything at the house too?
It's tough.
You know what I mean? I was thinking about that because you were talking about, building a barn, and I've even thought about like an exterior, like 2-car garage and such. And actually, you know, I don't know how to explain, but I would like just a little more property before investing too much in this place, but I guess I haven't thought about doing like a big hunt like you, like a 20 or however much, in Alaska, but it's tough to know because you want to live life and get as much out of this life and then you put value on the experiences, but also, you don't want your home life to suffer either.
Yeah,
Maybe this isn't a good topic, but I thought it's worth there's probably other
well, I
people that
mean, it's
struggle
definitely
with this
tough.
too.
I don't know the answers to it because if I'd have figured it out, I'd already been on a big hunt. I've been setting money aside to go on a big hunt, and those big hunts just keep getting more and more expensive,
Yeah.
which that's one of the biggest, you know, hardships for me is back in the day, I thought I could do exactly what I wanted for this set amount of money. And now that money ain't getting me into a lower class animal, in my mind of what I want to hunt.
Yeah.
So, then it becomes my way is I hunt more states for whitetail and spread out my hunt as much as I can in Wyoming. If I really was more dedicated, I'd probably back off of those hunts a little bit, back off of coming back east, every year and stuff for a while to put together some money because those it's whitetail. It's like, oh, that's not expensive. Well, if I
It's very
drive
expensive.
all the way back and making 2 trips, usually come out there in the summer to help and stuff. You start adding up, that money spent to come in and help for a few days. You got flights, and I try to financially help when I can, on some of this stuff. Uh, and the other thing is, dude, I'm gone all the time. Like you got to balance what's right with you and your wife and kids and loved ones. I try to be as present as I can. My situation's just always been different, but me and my wife, that's really all we know is I've always, even when I met her, was working out of state and stuff and are working out of town. I definitely have just been gone a lot, but I do my best to be, I don't, if it ain't hunting season, I don't do much
Yeah.
that's, without my family when I'm home. When I'm home, I take care of my well, I say chores. I mean, just trying to maintain a house is hard when you're gone most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's like I've never got to spring bear hunt. I've always wanted to go. And but this time of year is the time of year that I volunteer for extra work or, it's like, man, this would be a great time to go. Well, I gotta get stuff going around the house and get yard stuff done or take care of the animals. So
Mhm.
it's definitely it's a lot. And it just don't get easier. Like I've talked about a barn for years. I've talked about a big hunt for years. And it's like, yeah, I could probably afford to do either, but then one is going to have to take a back burner. And usually for me, like, oh, I can get by another year without a barn, you know?
Do you have any, do you wish you would have just already sent it on a big hunt and just instead of
Yeah, but it would have been when I had no money. I mean, I wish that I would have, I mean, the biggest one for me, obviously, if I'd have had money, would have been moose and stuff, a big trip in Alaska. But the one that I feel like I truly missed out was, the Quebec Labrador caribou hunt.
yeah,
That's gone. It don't. I mean, it don't really exist anymore for Quebec at all. And back, I should have done that around the time I graduated, and I didn't. I didn't. I always wanted to, but I moved to Wyoming at 21 and started working, and then it was work and hunt there in Wyoming, and that's just kind of how it always plays out. You get a job, and you only got a week or two off a year, and I'd take a week to do something with family. But the other thing was I moved to Wyoming, so like my week to come home and see my mom and my family, I'd get some hunting in there, but it's
yeah.
just moved away from family. It's a lot.
Yeah, I don't
So
wanna have that regret with, like, land, which I'm still it's crazy high, but it's not gonna go down either, I heard Rob say once, like, you almost have to buy it when you can't afford it and just figure it out, and,
I
like,
th-
you think maybe, like, with a hunt, should you just sent it and just figured it out, and that you would already had it under your
yeah.
belt
I mean,
because it's only gonna increase,
I always heard that guys there was some writers that would do this back, when guys got paid to write articles for magazines and stuff, that they would take a loan out, like a personal loan to pay for hunts. And they would pay for it for 3 years, all year, all monthly around. I mean, I'm not suggesting this, but this is just
Yeah,
the way that these guys, even who got paid for writing these outdoor articles and stuff, would pay for these hunts. They were taking loans every year. It was basically like having a truck payment. I mean, there's definitely choices you can make. Don't have a brand new truck. If you can live in a little house and, not have all that, you
I
can.
wonder if some guys do that, not to cut you off, but, like, let's just say me and you wanted to just hunt all year round, Madcore hunter or something. We took loans out to go on these hunts and film it and try to put it out there and like make money. It's almost like you're starting up a business, but you're investing directly into like your performance on hunting, which it would be so
There's
hard nowadays with how mainstream it is. But you wonder if
yeah,
some of the early ones did that.
there's definitely people doing that. I mean, I've listened to some videos recently of guys just buying hunting property under, as a farm business that but they're farming it too. They're buying it under like a farm business, but their, purpose is to actually farm it, blah, 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 and then they hunt it and maybe even sell hunts. I mean, you could, if you were willing to buy hunting property and grow big deer and sell those hunts and stuff, you could probably manage to pay for a property for a while, as long as you had
Yeah.
good deer and good hunts, but
Well,
it's
yeah, I
all.
I think
effort and
that
time.
for sure. I'm talking like, yeah, I definitely know guys do that. But like, let's just say, you did like the 30,000 moose hunt, $30,000 moose hunt, and like you took a loan out to go do that. You filmed it, and like you started doing these big hunts. You'd have to really get famous or something to like make your money back on that, you
Yeah,
know.
it'd be a hard.
But if you wonder if early on some of the guys did that.
I'm sure it was because like I
Yeah,
know absolutely that these guys there was outdoor writers and they got paid to write for their stories and stuff, but to go get those stories, it wasn't like they were getting that free hunt. Like
yeah,
they would get a $10,000 loan and go on a whitetail hunt somewhere and a mule deer hunt, and then write a story about it. And
yeah,
those guys managed, but they did. They never got rich doing it. They just got to do what they love to do as a job, you know? Even
yeah.
most of these guys with TV shows, dude, like, unless you were Waddell or Lee and Tiffany and stuff, a lot of these guys, they're not they don't make a ton of money.
Now, if
They're
you watch Chasing November, they're all working. A lot of times they'll say,
yeah.
"Oh, got home from work or this or that," and they'll bring their families out there. Like, you're gonna have to make a sacrifice somewhere along the line. You have to decide how serious you want to get with it. Some people just, they're not gonna have the luxury. I mean, some guys, man, they sold their businesses early and now they do is hunt. Good for them. Um,
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
obviously, if I knew a better way, I would have done a lot more stuff, but, it's you gotta pick and choose what you spend money on, and when you're married and got kids, that chooses a lot of times for you, over what you get to, but
yeah,
if you were young and single and could stand to live in a small house and not have things, not have objects, and drove a crappy vehicle, like, you could probably go on a lot of hunts. You're probably not getting your deer mounted and things like that either.
yeah. Yeah, I
Like,
know. I mean, that's always the thing, like, with my job, because I've always had, like, pretty good vacation and this and that, and it's like, that's kind of been a driving factor, if not getting too risky with jumping around because you kinda know what you have, I know how much vacation and I don't know, some people will gamble that, like, if they go someplace, they'll say, "Well, I have this vacation already set," but I don't know, I've put probably maybe too much emphasis, like, I've hunted out west a lot of years and been able to do it.
I've done something is I've got a box, couple of them now, that I put most every tag that I've ever filled or not filled is in that box. Taxidermy receipts, processing receipts.
Do you add it up?
No, I just have always told the girls, I said, "Not until I die, but when I die, you can add this up so you can
Mm,
make somebody feel really bad at some point," because I wouldn't wanna know. I don't know why I've kept that. I used to hear guys, to keep their tags, like, in a photo album and stuff like that. It's a little bit of that, but I keep some, certain items I keep just to know.
yeah.
Someday I could look through it when I'm old and can't do it anymore, I guess.
No, that's a good idea. I should do that. I've kept some of my stuff, but I don't know. I've always just kind of thrown it somewhere when I'm done with it. I definitely. When did you start that, you think? Like from
Definitely
high
since I've
school or?
definitely since I've moved to Wyoming. I know
Okay.
for sure,
So pretty early on.
once I moved to Wyoming, it was something I did. I mean, if you look, like, you see the racks in the background, obviously a lot of my racks have, harvest tags on them. Some state it depends on the state and stuff,
Mhm.
but, like, some of them you don't have in Wyoming, you don't have to necessarily stick it on the horn, and once you got it all processed and everything back to the house, I end up with at least the tag portion from saying getting something processed, and I'd always keep that. I don't have everything, but I got most of my tags used and
Yeah.
unused. I've always put that in there for the tag soup collection too, when you
Gosh, I hate
didn't
tag
fill a
soup.
tag. But
Yeah.
I'll probably never add it up, but somebody ever thought about it and wanted to do it when I was gone, it might be a little scary.
Yeah. I mean, if you think, golly.
Yeah, and that's a resident. I'm like, I'm not buying elk non-resident tags either.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The guy's got to pick and choose, but I could definitely live a lesser lifestyle if I wanted to and probably go on more, but, everybody
Yeah.
likes to have a nice house and nice vehicle and make a good living, but it's, it takes away from the hunting, I guess,
Yeah. You gotta find that balance. You gotta find
for
that
sure.
balance. Be different for everybody. Huh.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about that because, like, and I'm not the greatest when it comes to, like, going on this hunt because alls I do is sit there and think about it and think about it and think about it, and too cheap to spend the money on it. Because most of the time I could go ahead and book it and have it covered and everything. It's just, which one do you go? Like, if you gotta pick one hunt, like, I don't know how to make that decision. I
Yeah.
always thought I knew what it was, but that hunt's kinda out of my range anymore, you know?
I know. I'm not at that.
And also, like, the biggest fear I have is booking the wrong guide,
Yeah.
going the wrong place.
Yeah, we've heard horror stories about that.
Yeah, because I don't know. I definitely have looked more and more the last few years, and because I'd like to go to Africa to experience that, just to shoot a few and see different animals. But that one's still somewhat affordable,
Yeah.
for a hunt that you get to shoot a bunch of animals. But it's still, that one bothers me because I don't want to. You don't want to get on a place that's small acreage and fenced in, and you
Mhm.
know, just like a put and take, like talk about with the pheasant hunt, but with you know an impala and stuff. I don't mind if it's, obviously most of those are fenced in areas, but want something that's 30, 40,000 acres at least.
Yeah. I know Ted Nugent's kinda for that because he's like, it's enough acreage that it doesn't matter, and he's like, "I grow it, you still have to go in there and beat their nose and play the wind, it's still all the same." He's like, "It just ensures that the neighbor doesn't kill my big buck," but I don't know. That's kinda that's just part of the game, man. That's why it's called fair chase when you put it into Boone Crockett and such. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I I don't know. I just know that most of Africa is like that. They're big private properties, but yeah, they're absolutely going to be fenced in to cut down on poaching and all that stuff. But there's places you can go, just like South Africa being one of the main ones. There's not much of that where it's just truly free wild country,
Yeah,
non-fenced. I don't know. Alaska, the moose thing, probably the only way I can do that is if truly put together a hunt on our own, but you're still going to spend a ton of money.
does it help if you get, like, a couple guys in on it? I mean, that would only help with your travel, right? Not even that
Yeah, a little
much.
bit, but I mean, I truly, to go up there and hunt moose and get flown in and stuff, even on your own, I think I would doubt you could get anything under 10, you know?
Yeah,
Like I've seen some packages recently that were in between 10 and 15, and that was for like a DIY hunt, but they fly you in, you know? Like they've kind of got a setup. They fly you in, drop you off, and it's your hunt from there until you get picked up.
yeah,
And I mean, there's places you can drive to, but it's like anywhere else. If you can drive to it, so can everybody. So can everyone.
yep,
So it's like there's a highway up in there that's, I don't know what the name of that highway, but I know a few guys that have went up there and hunted caribou, and I think I seen that on like Randy Newberg's show where they hunted caribou on public in Alaska, and you can probably go up there and kill a caribou. I'd never seen anybody really kill anything big along that road system where all the public is.
yeah,
And even there, it's hard to get because of how it's boggy and everything. It's hard to get very far off the main track without major effort.
yeah. I don't know what the answer is, man. I mean, the thing is I really enjoy my whitetail and elk hunting. Like, I really don't even have the vacation. And for me to go on one of these hunts, I'd have to give up elk, which I would, but it's like it's so much money. Is it really worth it? Because elk hunting, like the experience is kind of second to none, man. Like the thing comes screaming in, it's got swords coming out of its head and it's big,
You got
you
yeah,
know.
I do think you wanna take advantage as long as you can of being able to get those elk
Yeah.
tags because I just don't think that's long for this world of having over the counter or being able to it's just gonna get harder and harder to draw those tags.
Yeah, it's gonna come to it. There's gonna be a day where you're not probably gonna be able to elk hunt every year, or if you do, you're gonna have to really contemplate, like, is this gonna just be a bow hike, or should I wait, 3 years to where I can get, a decent area?
I foresee, like, living in Wyoming, like, it's not out of the picture to foresee me not being able to get a general tag as a resident.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
lot
not
of
really
different
right.
reasons. Some of 'em's been I think there's definitely some mismanagement of animals because you know, to keep hunting going and stuff, they gotta earn money, and, that's why the tag numbers is more probably set on money than animals in the area. I mean, I know they use both, but they come up with a amount of tags they can put out every year. I
Well,
just
you have the guides in the wilderness areas too.
I mean, Wyoming hunting in general has just, like, decreased as far as the numbers of people and tags out there have went up, but, just quality animals and stuff in my mind, I think it's went down,
Yeah,
there's still good hunting, but the one that's hard for me is the fact that am a Wyoming resident and have been for 20 some years and been put in the same dang area and I can't draw it.
yeah,
That one's tough because it's like I always told myself that I'd just put into it until I drew it again, and now I think last year I figured up it was I don't know, I was at 18 years applying for the same just an elk tag, you know? And I've always
uh-huh,
kept it the same instead of jumping around, and maybe that wasn't a good idea, but it's just tough. I mean, I like the general hunting that I've done. I've been very successful, shot a lot of elk, so I definitely enjoy that, but I just picture that being gone at some point. Just like you guys used to when your dad first started coming out, they could draw every year, and then it was every other year for, like, 10 years straight. Now, what, we 6, 7 years apart from being able to draw?
I think 5, um, 5 years to get a general tag. I don't even know. Yeah, it really sucks because that's like the foundation of our group, and, I wish it was a state that was a little bit easier. I mean, 5 years, man, I mean, you can get old pretty fast waiting
Yeah.
5-year increments, even me.
I think, Montana's still, maybe 1 or 2 years to draw some of their general stuff, but
Yeah, I'd say Utah's gonna follow suit here soon, and like I said, it wasn't anything crazy. I don't recommend anybody go, for being honest.
yeah, I mean, that is a hard thing to think of and hear, but it's not far behind. I mean, it's
Nah, it
just the
ain't
way
far
of it. It's
behind.
like
Honestly, if you didn't know the area and have stock, I mean, you'd be going elk hunting, but it's pretty tough. I don't think we have ran into anybody without stock that has killed out there. I don't
yeah.
think. You can ask Dad, but there was a couple people last year, they all had stock getting back in there, but
And it's everywhere. Like, you think of where, you've hunted in Wyoming, and I've been successful, like, I know a ton of people go down there every year and never kill any elk.
mhm.
I mean, it's still tough hunting, and you gotta deal with people, and honestly, you gotta be I mean, just to shoot an elk, you gotta still put in effort. Some guys shoot them from the road, get lucky, but they've drove around for who knows how long most of the time when they've shot that.
Yeah.
But that's not the hunt any of us are looking for anyway.
Yeah, but I don't know, something about whitetail too, man. I enjoy whitetail. Like, whitetail can be the cheapest or almost the most expensive if you think about it,
It
to
depends on
hunt.
if you
Depends on
live
how you're
there and
doing
what
it.
you do. Yeah, I definitely
You
wanna
can
buy I wanna buy a place so that I have it, for future years as I slow down. But it's like you said, like, I do believe you gotta pull the trigger when you don't feel comfortable with it. I mean,
Yeah, I don't
that's
know. I'd say within the next 5 years, I would like to, I don't wanna say, like, dream place or anything like that, but, like, at least a stepping stone. Like, I wanna have a stepping stone in the next couple years of, like, a little more acreage to where I can make it something even house-wise and then just kinda, go up from there. Leases are nice and such too, but yeah, whitetail's crazy because you can spend $1,000,000 on it or you can spend $100. And honestly, you could have the odds could be pretty similar if you put in the scouting. It's so weird, because there's guys that go to Hoosier National Forest and kill big deer. And you have, what's his name down the road? It's got 500 acres and food plots and redneck blinds and this and that, 50 trail cameras. It is a little bit of a game of luck, but as long as I'm hunting, I'm pretty happy. But we do need to be conscious of, you know, what's going on. Obviously, I don't want to get into politics and such. They're trying to sell public land and this and that. Like we don't have any land to give up. It's already crowded enough, man. We need more. They're not making any of it.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, buy land. I wish I'd have done it
Buy
25 years
dirt,
ago.
buy dirt, and go take out a personal loan on a moose hunt. I'm gonna go tell Shelby's like, yeah, Danny's like, just take out a personal loan for a moose hunt now.
Yeah,
That way, it's 30 now, and it'll probably be 60 when I'm 45 or something.
yeah, yeah. Just sell the truck, buy you a little Mazda Miata, drive it around.
I'm pretty sure that's what those hunting public guys did, man. When they first started, they were hunting out of their cars.
Well, yeah. You look at any of those guys and what they drive, they ain't any of them got any money. Like, I mean,
They do
they're
now.
do. I don't think so.
They still don't.
Most of those guys still don't have. They ain't spending any money on camo or anything.
That Seek One guy has money somehow.
Yeah, but he's also like, it was his business, you know, and he's
Yeah,
done well, and he kills giants. That always seems to help the line the pockets a little bit when you kill monsters.
I don't know what the answer is.
Win the lottery. Then you'll be a bad person probably. So that seems like what happens when most people win money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to win things. I've ran out of luck on that stuff. So
Well, I don't know. Kinda, yeah, I don't know how to
we
sum
need
up
it.
this
We just need hunting
podcast.
season to get back here.
Yeah, well, apologies to the listeners, man. Just been real busy. There's some guests that I wanna get, but it's so hard. It's hard for me to schedule, like we talked about my training, and be flexible to get these people on here when I, like, can only do this, like, 1 or 2 days a week, and, it's late right now. It's hard to ask somebody to do that, so turkey season, we're gonna be dropping some hopefully, and
It's
and after that, we're gonna be prepping for a lot of out west hunting. I got some good stuff in mind, some good guests. So stick with us, and
yeah,
we'll get some good stuff.
turkey's already getting started. I know down south, I'm already seeing people get shooting turkeys and stuff in the southern states, and I didn't know this, but like Obendorf, that youth season's been in the last 2 weekends. They've got really close with Corbin's first turkey. So
Yeah, Rob lost one to youth season. He was pissed, man. There's like a there's like a field. It's got like a drainage of woods. And it's a farmer's field. It's probably like 75 yards wide off the back road from his place. They called it right off his property, swacked it opening weekend. He called me
really,
all, oh yeah, he's all pissed, in a
that's funny.
sense, like it's youth, this and that, but it sucks when it comes like when it lives and roosts on your place, and those fields, man, like some turkeys, it's weird. Like they can be easy to kill if you have just a small little field, man, that they feel comfortable coming to.
Yeah, that youth season, talking to him, it seemed like it was early, but I guess it is April. So I think it's in a lot of states or comes in here in a few weeks. But
Yeah.
I've been last few days really seeing birds strutting up
Yeah,
here in North
we
Dakota.
saw 2 today on the way to the gym. Yeah, they're really starting. Kentucky pushed theirs back a week. Some guys were complaining. I don't care because I would have missed even more with my race. So I think they're trying to help the population in Kentucky. But now I'm looking forward to it, man. This has been a beautiful spring so far. It's good to get out there and listen to the birds and gobbles. Good for the soul. Get some good stories on here. Hopefully, good luck to anybody that's going. If you're not, I recommend it. What else? You got anything else?
Think that's a wrap.
Yeah, yeah. Wrap it up with take out a personal loan for a hunt. Go buy 100 acres and good luck turkey hunting. We'll see you
Disclaimer,
guys.
we're not financial advisors.
Yeah, we're not. No, no, not at all. See you guys there in a couple weeks.